We got our Tip Tuesday video for you guys today. Today we're going to talk about the why behind some of the decisions that we make using basic strategy. All right, but first off, welcome back to the channel. This is A1 Blackjack, the channel where we teach you how to count cards fast. So if that sounds good to you, stick around because we're going to learn about the why behind some of these here in basic strategy. However, a little bit of an elephant in the room. I got a new felt. So those of you that are my subscribers, you probably recognize that, along with some new chips. I'll talk more about those at the end of the video. If you are interested, there might even be an opportunity for you there. All right, but the reason that you're here is because, let's put $400 of green out here, or 400, how about 4 green to make $100? The reason why you're here is to learn about the why behind some of these different decisions, okay? So let's say we have a pair of 7s versus a dealer's 8. Now, usually when it comes to basic strategy, one of two things is kind of true. You're either trying to improve your hand or you're trying to make a decision because the dealer is going to bust, all right? And usually falls into one of those two camps. In this case, if you think about the decisions that I have with a pair of 7s or any pair is, of course, you can hit, stand, double down, or with pairs, you can split. All right. And so here, if I think, would it make sense to split this? Well, basic strategy, remember, is based off of millions and millions of simulated hands, all right? Usually done with a computer over, several minutes or hours, depending on how many that they do for their simulation. And because the most likely card in a deck is a 10 value card, a lot of people think that what happens is that they assume that there's going to be a 10 that comes out next, all right? And because of those simulations, that does kind of make a little bit of sense over the long haul, is that you could assume there's probably going to be a 17 that we're going to get on one of those two, and that this might be an 18. All right. However, probability would say that there's more cards that aren't 10 than that are. But you kind of have to do a balancing act between those two things. All right. So first off, I don't want to split this because if it were going to be 10s, a 17 does not beat an 18. All right. However, I want to improve this hand. And so the only way that I can do that without risking more money is by just hitting it. All right, that's what we're going to do here. That is the correct decision. So if you have a pair of 7s versus a dealer's 8, and if I hit this one, it looks like we got a 19 now. All right, and so here, dealer, they do have the 18. So again, you won't always get a 10, but you're going to hit that to try to improve your hand closer to 21, so that in the instance that the dealer does have 18 here, you would get some money. All right, so there you go. You got paid $100. Congratulations. Oops. All right, let's try another hand. Put that over there. Let's put my another $100 out. All right, we have another pair this time. And this time you'll notice that we have a pair of 6s versus a dealer's 4. All right, would it make sense to split my hand now? So again, if I kind of go off of that idea about the 10s, a 16 would beat a 14 and then eventually a 24 if I pull a couple 10s here. All right. However, if I have a 12, which I do currently, and I pull a 10, I bust. So this instance, it does make more sense to split this. All right. That is the correct decision using basic strategy, is to split this. And on the first 10, let's see what happens. Now we get a 9. All right, now this brings up a whole new situation. A 9 versus the dealer's 4. Well, 9, you have the advantage over the dealer here. Again, dealer's probably going to bust with this hand with a 4 showing. Not always, but, majority of the time they probably will. Okay, and so what we're going to do when we have the advantage over the dealer is we're going to double down, all right, against usually a 9, 10, or an 11 that we have. That's typically going to be a double down against dealer's bust cards. All right. Now, what if I pull something like this, which is a 12, all right, or an 11, excuse me, an 11. If I get an 11, you might think, oh, dang it. What did I just do? I bet $100 more and I got a stinking 11. I can pull any other card still and still be fine. All right. But I mean, again, it's not about your hand here. It's about the dealer busting. So that is why we double that down. All right, on the second 6, now we do get that 16. Okay, so we're going to hold off on that. Dealer, however, oh, they don't have a 10 underneath. They have a 5. So that makes it a 9. All right, now they have 15, and look at that, they did bust. So even if they don't bust right away with that initial card showing, that doesn't mean that they won't still. All right, there's plenty of other options here that they can pull that would still result in you winning some money. All right, let's get you some black this time. So keep some green here. That is $100 each. Congratulations. All right, got a couple more hands I want to talk about. Stack up your greens there. Get another $100 worth of green out there. Okay, here we go. Now we got some soft totals we're getting into. How about a soft 15 versus a dealer's 6? Okay, now similar to that last one, I think that was a 9 versus a dealer's 4. The 6, of course, is going to be a dealer's bust card. And because this is a bust card, we have the advantage over the dealer. And when you have the advantage over the dealer, typically what you want to do is get as much money out on the table as possible. So here we are going to double down. Now, the rules for double down, if you're new, is that you just get one card in exchange for doubling your bet. All right, and if you win, you double the money. If you lose, they take both of those bets. All right, so here when I double down, what if I get a 12 this time? All right, again, the worst possible card that I could draw is going to be a 7 there because it ends up in a 12, which is pretty far away from 21. But again, that's okay because it's not about improving our hand. Remember those two situations at the beginning? It's about trying to get the dealer to bust in this case. All right, so let's see if they do. They have a 6. Now they have a 16. All right, so they can only get a 5, 4, 3, 2, or ace. Those are the only 5 out of 13 cards in a suit, right, that could potentially help them. And there they go. They got a 7. So they were 2 too many there, and you ended up winning $200. So again, not about your hand there. It's about the dealer's kind of likelihood to bust in that case. Now, in each of these cases, of course, you can probably tell I have the deck set up, and we've been winning a lot of these. Are you going to win every hand? No, you are not. All right. And in fact, you've probably had that same situation and you pull a 12 and then the dealer ends up making a crazy 21 or just, not busting their hand. And that is how it goes sometimes. All right. But we don't play for the single hand, one hand at a time. We play as card counters for the long haul. All right, so if that kind of resonates with you, please give me a thumbs up in this video. We have a few more hands to do, but I would appreciate that. That's the best way you can help this channel. All right, let's try another soft total hand here. This is kind of the most notorious row in basic strategy for being the toughest. If I have a soft 18, all right, versus a dealer's 9, well, a soft 18 is going to double down against a 2 through 6. It's going to stand against a 7 and 8, and it's going to hit against a 9, 10, or 8. So since I have a 9 here, we are going to hit this hand. But why? All right, the whole reason for this video is why. If I think, again, using the most common card it's in the deck is a 10 value card, that would give me an 18 versus a potential dealer's 19. You would lose. All right, so that is why we're trying to improve our hand here by hitting. All right, and there you go. See, we got that most likely card. Now, of course, basic strategy also says that once you have a hard, right, this is no longer a soft ace, but it's a hard, 17 or higher, if you have a 17 or higher, you're going to stand on any hand because, of course, the likelihood of busting if you take another card is incredibly high. All right, and so because of that, we're going to stand in this case. And let's see, if dealer flips over a 10, you would lose, all right? You would lose there, but at least you didn't double down and didn't put out as much money. But they didn't, all right? They have an 8, and that's a 17. An 18, of course, beats a 17, and so you win $100. All right. Okay, I think we have one more hand that we're going to try here. Figure out why we play it the way we do. And this is probably one of the most frustrating hands to get, is when you have, first off, is there any blackjack? No, there is not. Is when you have a 16 versus a dealer's 10. All right? Whether you hit or stand, you are likely to lose this hand, okay? However, basic strategy says that we should hit this hand when we have a count of 0 or lower. And if you're a card counter, it says that you should, if you have a positive count, you should stand on this hand. Okay, and the reason for that, if we get into like a little bit of a deviation reason here, the reason for that is if the count is low, there's going to be more low cards left in the deck. And if that's true, you are more likely to pull a low card and hopefully, not always, but hopefully, get a card that won't bust you. And even if you do, though, the dealer is still likely to beat you because if this is a 10, they're going to have a 20, and that would most likely win. All right, so let's see what happens here. Let's say that the count is low, we're going to hit it. If the count were high, by the way, you're more likely to have a high card, and so you would bust your hand, so you would not want to. You'd want to stand on this. But let's say the count is low, and there you go. All right, you have a 4. It doesn't bust you, but you are going to stand now at a 20. So if this is a 10, we would push, and it is. All right, it is a 10 here, so we're going to push that, which means we didn't win or lose. So I can keep our bet out there. All right, now those were all the situations that I had set up. Let's kind of go rapid fire through a few more here and just see whether we would win or lose, as well as maybe does that situation call for you improving your hand or trying to get the dealer to bust. All right, let's see if there's okay, blackjack, wasn't playing that. Of course, we would win that one. Do a few more here. Oh my goodness. Who set this up? Both of us had blackjack. That'd be a push. Okay, not another one this time. Okay, here's an interesting one. This time, we're not trying to get the dealer to bust so much as we're going to stand on this. This is a really good hand. And so a 20, is going to beat a 19. Okay, very nice. Okay, when the dealer has an ace, of course, we're going to try to improve our hand. Is there blackjack? No, there is not. So we're going to hit this, and now we're going to stand on an 18. Let's see what happens here. Dealer has a soft 12 and a soft 17. We stand on all 17s at this table, so we would end up winning $100. Got an 18. Okay, let's try another one or two maybe. No blackjack this time. What about a 13 versus a 10? Again, pretty bad hand, so we're going to try to improve it by hitting. 14, same thing, we're going to hit, and then we busted. So we did not improve our hand there, and I do have to take your initial bet. Dealer would have had a 12. All right, get another $100 out there. Let's call this the last one. Oh, we just did that. Hand. See if we get something new here. Oops. Oh my goodness, another 13. That's why I set up the originals, because the last few haven't gone too well. Okay, here's an interesting one. Or kind of goes back to my point. If I have an 18 versus a dealer's 2, do I want to try to improve my hand here? No. An 18, anything 17, 18, 19, 20, of course 21, you're going to stand on if it's a hard 18 or higher, or hard 17 or higher. And so here, I'm going to let the dealer try to either bust or get a 17 or lower. And let's see, they have a 9, 14, and 2 May. They busted, all right? So I would get $100. Nice. So hopefully this helped you out a little bit as to why we do the decisions, or we make decisions that we do when we're at the blackjack table based off basic strategy. Now, a couple things here. This is a blank basic strategy chart. I would encourage you guys to find one of these, print it out, and fill it out to understand, maybe go through each row and try to understand why you're making the decision you do as you write that down. All right. If you don't know basic strategy, I'll put a chart here on the screen for you right now. And again, you have to probably memorize that. But as you're memorizing, kind of think, am I trying to improve my hand? Am I trying to get the dealer to bust? Or do I have a good enough hand already that I can stand on? Those are going to be kind of your 2 or 3 options that you're thinking about as you do that. All right, and then the last thing that I promised you is a little explanation about the felt. And so this actually was sent to me by Casino Supply, and so were these chips. So if you like this, or if you want maybe your own kind of logo on a felt, or if you want to get some of your own high-end chips, they offer some pretty good deals there, as well as if you use the code A1BJ for A1 Blackjack, you can get 10% off. I am currently building a brand new table that I'm going to put this felt on, and the reveal for that will probably be here in a week or two. And so for those of you that are already subscribed, you can look forward to that. If you're not, you might want to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned kind of for some more deals and offers, right? About this discard tray, and this shoe also came from Casino Supply. So they have everything that you might need for your blackjack needs. Again, check those out. I'll put their information in the pinned comments of this video. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, this is A1 Blackjack.